I know.
Yeah. Because we're going to seal these lines.
Okay.
So, if you, a lot of shading on his before in his outer robe and his cassock.
Okay.
We're going to do some shading on that before we lay in base colors on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
Because we're going to be laying base colors transparent.
Guys, he's explaining.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I know, right?
yeah. The smaller icon and in smaller faces, you have a lot more liberty with how you handle it. There's many different ways to make a face in an icon, and with the smaller faces, you can have a really pale center. That means you're going to have a really bright face when you're done, because you have to. That's our goal on this. I'm just showing you another technique. Plus, we're going to be doing some shading on some of the garment. That's what I was going to show you now, because, and it might look very high contrast when we're done, but we're going to lay in base colors over that transparently, and we're going to use natural pigments mixed with the medium, and we're going to lay it in like egg temper. Okay, so first, everybody, there's a ton of these over there. You need one unless you already have a palette that has wells. These are wells. We'll be doing this a lot in this icon.
Okay.
Don't pour it out. Just take a brush full, that much maybe. Everybody get one of these.
What is it?
A medium.
Medium?
This is called medium. So you put in maybe twice as much water or more. And that just gives you some medium, because you want this, when we're doing shading, we want to apply it transparently and build it. So
Burnt sienna.
this is burnt sienna, which looks black, but it's really a dark, dirty brown, and it's really transparent anyway. But even so, we need to make it a little more transparent. That's why we mix it with a little bit of this.
Wayne, the medium is the same as Magic Mix? Is it the same? Or is it
I wouldn't say it was the same,
okay.
because this medium, the reason I used Golden's is it really does seal the board.
Okay.
All those pencil lines stay there. They're not going to migrate up through the layers of paint like if you used Magic Mix.
So
they
you
would.
put some of the medium in also our wash on, oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're doing the shading, you can see there's hardly any pigment there. Start out slow like that. Do the outside of the, that's going to be darker on the outside. I did send you these pictures. Did you get them?
Yes.
Okay. You know that they're
I printed out.
very good. Okay.
We can count on you to do
Just myself though. Sorry.
Did you bring them?
No, but I remember
Yeah, I
you always
did.
do it.
I did it.
So you have to
but
first
just for me.
identify.
Yes.
You have to identify which garment is it. Because now you have to decide. This is pretty much up to your choice. Where is the shadow? The folds on the garment, some are folded out, they're going to be bright. Some are folded in, they're going to be darker. So you have to decide which ones are going to be darker. So maybe that one. and maybe a little bit under there.
All right, if you.
Maybe it's gonna be dark in there. And down here, you have to decide how his shoulders come like that. So that would be pretty much it right there. That's gonna be the outer garment. Okay?
Here's building definition.
Yeah. A little bit. Then, when that's dry, which pretty much is, you can come in and make your line half as wide. See, it's already rounding back. Half as wide on this side. Come up with this color halfway. You can keep going with this. We want a lot of contrast in here. And you can sort of imagine, you don't want your brush too wet, that there's maybe some lines coming down inside of your, you know. Folds, exactly. But if you saw the pictures,
I'm gonna look it up on my phone.
the contrast can be pretty severe looking. I mean, it's almost going to look black on the edge, you know. But still, it's a gradual. You want to maintain that, and even if you have to make this a little bigger, you know, you can. And eventually, maybe you'll use a smaller brush and put these lines on with the burnt umber. I didn't bring. Do you have a liner brush?
That's a bit large.
Oh. Let's see. That'll work.
Is that nice?
Yeah, that's nice. You can take this color straight. Put a little bit of that. Yeah. When you're mixing your paint, it always has to be almost like ink or it won't flow off the brush. You know, it has to have enough juice in it. You can see I can do a lot more shading on this. Ignore the branch. Just paint over it like it isn't there. Don't try to paint around it, or it's going to look distorted when you're done. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you let his sleeve come over the line for the border?
I couldn't hear that part.
Down where you're working now, the sleeve is over the border?
She said, the question is, the sleeve is over the border, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can draw the sleeve outside the border, or not. Either whatever you want to do. I just thought I'd make it a little bit more interesting. The lines that define the garment, you know, this line here, this line that define, they can be a little bolder. They usually are in an icon than the interior lines that do delineate folds, you know. So don't be afraid to make it a little thicker, a little bolder. It's okay. And you can add more lines, or you can ignore the lines. Yeah, whatever you want to do. It's you just want it to look like folds. You can add some. It's totally up to you. Change them. What you want to do is every now and then have a look at what it is and see where it needs more definition. And don't be afraid if it looks a little over exaggerated, because we're going to lay a color on top of this. It's going to set everything back. But see these lighter areas? We want them to stay light, so it gives some definition and some depth when you're working it. Okay.
And then Wayne, is the bold line going around the outside of the garment, is that gonna be the final, or is that gonna get outlined again?
Probably at the end of the icon,
Yeah,
it'll be outlined again.
again, okay.
Yeah. And you can soften it with your hand, palm of your hands. Maybe I want a little shadow in there. So, okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. If you want to, you can.
Do the first one first, did he do the second?
So that's red earth.
This is red earth. Now, don't make these lines real bold. You can make them small.
So you're using a liner brush for these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some liner brushes if you need them. Huh?
Actually, I might have brought mine. Let's see.
Actually, this whole, this whole thing, I didn't see that. This whole area gets.
No,
Yeah.
red earth, I'm sorry.
Yeah, red earth.
Kate was just eluding
Red
you.
earth is
man.
red sand,
Whoa.
it's the dark.
What was I thinking about?
Red earth.
He isn't that fat, you know? I know he was a cook, but
This one?
This
He was a
one.
monastic cook.
he was a
Oh,
monastic
this is
cook.
burnt umber.
He had to apologize for
Red
the
earth.
taste of the food because it was so awful.
Sienna and red.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Monk's got on his case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You don't have to put every line on. Now, this area in here is going to be blue from this
Yeah.
line to that.
That's his habit. Right?
That's his.
The-
It's called analovos.
yeah, the schema.
That's his schema, the great schema. Yeah.
You eyes, and your ears are better than mine.
Oops.
I was about to
Yeah,
say
this is going to be pretty much in like really dark blue. We'll use indigo on that. Okay.
Indigo.
Yeah, I have a. Yeah, we'll do that in natural pigments.
Ooh.
Okay. You don't have to get, because of this garment, this particular garment is so transparent. It's going to be transparent. You're going to still see some of the yellow through. You don't want it to. You don't want it to go too dark with the shading. You don't have to go too dark. We are gonna put a color on top of it, vermilion. Okay? So, same deal.
So transparent. Yeah.
And then you can decide where the wide fold is.
Oh, that's
Blue.
Oops,
fine.
that's the blue. Sorry. And just give it some roundness and form, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to spend a long time on it.
Is it just the very center that's blue?
I didn't hear you.
Is it just the very center that's blue? What part
This
is
is a, it looks like a strip of cloth that comes around his neck, up here. This is blue.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yeah.
comes down.
Okay.
That it's colored analogous.
Beautiful.
That's I'll talk when we're having lunch. I'll talk about that, so you can have
We are not going to finish
a little
today
bit of
anyway.
understanding about what's going on right now. I'm going to put a little bit of shading right here.
Then we're gonna eat lunch, wait.
We usually eat around 12, but if you want to eat earlier, yeah. What time is it now?
11.
11. Well, why don't we do our shading first
Yeah.
and
I'm gonna order a sub from across the street, so I'm trying to figure out when
oh
to put it in so I can time it.
yeah. We eat around 12.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is yours. So that's what I
This is a
want
good idea.
you try to accomplish.
Oh, at the bottom.
Okay. And
And
rem-
Powder.
It's ground up rock.
Yeah. Purple red.
Purple red.
Alizarin? No, alizarin. Ooh, that's a beautiful
And
color.
then- I need the medium. Do you have any?
I got it. Mentioned it when he was
I'm just making some. I'm making some paint, which you are going to use.
I want to see. Yeah. With medium also.
Yeah, I want to mix it up. I like to mix it up with a smaller brush. That way, I don't get.
It's a powder.
This doesn't mix very easily because it's. I don't know. This stuff is like allergic to water. It doesn't want to get wet. You know, like cocoa powder.
Yeah.
Like cocoa powder. It's the same thing. It doesn't like to mix. Okay. Now, I put some medium and some water in there, and I put a little bit of this purple red, one brush. See that?
And what's it called? I'm sorry, the
Purple red.
Purple red.
purple red.
It's powder.
It's natural pigments.
Okay,
So, one brushful,
okay.
a little brushful,
A little.
with plenty of medium and water.
Okay.
And what I want you to do, sometimes you have to adjust it. You don't want it to be too strong.
Purple red, medium, and water.
Yeah.
Purple red's the powder that's, it's something we don't normally use.
And we would be able to
See what I'm
the
doing?
brown.
Okay.
I'm making a puddle. It's like egg tempera. It's just acrylic tempera. and we put it on in a puddle. It's a little strong, so I'm going to add a little bit more water and a little bit more medium because I want it to be a little transparent. So you may have to adjust it as you do this, but if you put it on and it's too opaque, it kind of defeats the purpose of what you just accomplished with the shading.
But you get the shading back by going over it again, or what?
Yeah, you may have to do that if you put it on too heavy.
Okay. Just adjust it and,
I can still see it.
So it is a puddle. It's a puddle.
So it'll dry transparent enough to see your lines.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay,
If it doesn't, it's too heavy.
yeah,
And if you do the whole thing too heavy, you just have a little more work to do.
sure,
Okay?
okay.
Wipe it off.
And should it be deeper on the outside
right,
edge?
wipe it down the way you want it.
Like on your left-hand side now, on your bottom?
Well, if it's transparent enough, it shows too what we just did earlier.
No,
Yeah.
but like, was it darker on the edge? Like, did he have deeper puddling?
No, I didn't have any
No,
deeper
'cause
puddle.
But he just put
Darker
it
then.
to,
Okay.
it's just the mixture was a little bit too dark, so he put more,
But as you can see, you cannot be dragging your hand through this. It's wet.
Yeah,
It's gonna stay wet.
brush only.
Brush only.
Now you started on the inside on that side. Oh, that's interesting.
I got these little bumps in there. That's okay,
Oh, it's okay, okay,
because when it dries, you can tweak it.
okay.
If you say, well, that spot's too light, you can. It's going in the area. But you can see how fast it goes and
Really fast.
how effective it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
so you really want it to be a puddle,
A puddle, definitely.
kind of like what we do with the Instacol.
Yes, exactly the same thing as we do with the Instacol. In other words, you don't add it there, you add it right here and blend it to back to the other. Same way we do it with Instacol.
That's a different technique.
You'll have to show Andrew this. And Betty, do you know this? I'm only going to demonstrate it was.
Have you done this one, Betty, this technique?
No,
Betty may have because she does look
Yeah.
temper, but we're doing the puddles.
Okay, yes, I'm doing.
Okay.
yeah.
Already, so.
Not that I've mastered it, I've done it.
And you could break it into sections like that.
Ah, okay, that's how you got the color there.
And you could see what you did underneath, you know?
Yeah,
It's pretty effective.
because we just looked at the colors on yours and figured out, tried to figure out how you got the color there, like a light color and a dark color, the same light, dark,
Yeah.
same thing, but one has something under it to make it darker.
Now, I might be tempted to go back in and, put some right there and there. But you don't want to do that while it's wet because it kind of balls up and changes. It looks like chicken scratch when you're done. But if you let it dry, you can go back over it with the same mixture, except don't use a puddle. Put it on with a brush
Okay.
and just brush it on, and you can have a lot of control.
And is this something we can dry with the dryer to speed it
No.
along? No.
It'll be,
Remove the puddle.
if you held the dryer way up here, maybe.
Okay, no, I just, so that, just do it, leave it, and work on something else while it's
Right.
drying. Okay, got it.
What about the belts? Does the belt also get that? Or
No.
The
The
belt
belts,
stays
that can pretty much stay the way it is, or you can